right, I am going to make a quick video for you guys showing you how to use Sales Navigator possibly better than you're currently using it now. There's some tips and tricks that we've learned over the course of the thousands of clients that we've worked with that have taught us how to get more connections at a faster rate, how to get people to engage a little bit quicker, better quality connections inside that platform. There's always room for us to learn. We're semi-experts, but there's people that know more than us, but I'll teach you what I know, and hopefully that'll help you in your journey of growing your business, gaining influence, and growing inside LinkedIn. So first, inside our platform, real quickly, I want to take you to the search page. This is where you're going to be adding Sales Navigator searches to the platform. Here, you click on Start New Search, and what you're going to try to do is add a Navigator search. So we want to grab a Navigator URL. It's going to be plugged in right there. Give it a name. You need those two things, the URL and the name. All right, that's it. I'm going to point over here to Navigator here. Inside LinkedIn, you probably have a link here that says Navigator. If you don't have it, I do recommend you paying for it. It's a great add-on. It allows you to tap into 34, I believe, search criteria that LinkedIn offers. If you don't have it, you got about 12 that you can use. So, all right, I'm going to keep on moving fast. I'm assuming you already understand that Navigator is important to get. So here we are. You can put something in there. You don't have to put something in the keywords there. I'm going to go, for the sake of this argument here, a group of people that I like to target personally, digital agency owners, right? Marketing agency, digital agency owners. That's what I'm going to be going for here in this video, okay? So I'm going to type in the word digital agency, okay? Let's see what happens here in the digital agency world, okay? And then I'm going to show you the tricks, and I'm going to point out which ones make a big difference. So there's 2 million people that say digital agency in their profile. It's a lot. It's good. It's a good number to start with. We like starting big and then weeding that down to a smaller number. If what you're looking for only has, let's say, 500 people in it, and that's the very first search and everything else is not even like conditioned to be smaller, then we're probably in trouble. You need to think through what you can do to make that list bigger than 500. All right. So 2 million, let me go through here. I like to see all the filters so I can kind of see them all on the screen here. Okay. Almost always I will tag the geography one. And I'm going to go here for United States, okay? You can do it by state. The geography is one of the nicer ones that you can condition to be like a state, a city, a zip code, which I wouldn't use zip code too much, but you can. It does let you do zip codes. You can do counties. There's a lot of different things you can do with the geography. And the nice thing about it, though, is it's a fast way to turn a big number into a small number is by changing the geography. When everything else is done, if the number is still too big, you can just work on geography sections to get the whole thing to work out for you, okay? All right, geography, I'm going to do United States. Now, here are some of the tricks here that I'm going to put in here. Connections. I almost only always want to target secondary connections. This is important. This is going to help you be much more successful, okay, inside LinkedIn's platform. I'm going to try to move a little fast, but also slow for some of you. It's hard to know what pace to talk about this stuff on because some of you already know all this already. Second degree connections on LinkedIn are people that are connected to your current connections. So right now I have about 20,000 connections on LinkedIn. That's a good number. Some of you might only have a few hundred. Some might have way more than that. If you have more, great. You will only need to use your second degree. But if you only have a few hundred, maybe your second degree network isn't that big yet. It's okay maybe not to check that box. But when possible, I always would. You'll see that everybody in this list, you're going to see a list of shared connections with me. 21, 28, 127, 14. So if I reach out to these people here, the odds of them accepting my connection request goes up because they're going to see common people that they know, that I know, and that's going to help them feel like I'm a credible person, somebody they should connect with. I have a good friend. He only connects to people that have at least 25 common connections with him, and that's what he's been doing for years. He goes, like, if you don't know, like, I'm connected to everybody in the space that I'm in my industry. If you don't know at least 25 of the same people as me, I'm assuming that you're just, like, not really relevant in the space, and it's not worth spending my time connecting with you. So we don't want to get screened out by that. I wish I could do some things like second degree with 4 connections. I can't do that, but we're just going to use what we have in here, okay? Another thing I like to do is company headcount, okay? This is a great one for using Navigator. This is a differentiator between Navigator and non-Navigator right here, okay? Is I can select the company size. Now for me, what I've seen is self-employed and 1 to 10 employees, you're catching a lot of the riffraff on LinkedIn. A lot of people like this has like side hustle, little gig, few friends in them, they do something, they call it something, they put the profile that they do it, but their total business organization has less than 10 people, I would maybe stay away from them. So I'm going to pick the 11 to 50, 50 to 200, 200 to 500, and even up to 1,000 for this one here, okay? That's a pretty good size for me. If I got a digital agency that had 1,000 employees, I'd be pretty happy, okay? So now we're down to 82,000 people in here. It's still a lot, okay? Now the big thing here too is I'm going to go for seniority level, okay? Seniority level, an important one for us to focus on here. In that, you can't do this in regular LinkedIn. You can only do by title, real specific. But here, I don't mind talking to a chief marketing officer. I don't mind talking to a chief revenue officer. I don't mind talking to a chief executive officer. So I'm just going to include all C-level people. I don't mind talking to somebody who owns the company. I don't mind talking to somebody who's a partner inside that company. So these are the top 3 tiers inside the organization. I could go down to VP level. If I was doing this a little bit more tailored, I maybe would say for the 500 to 1,000, I'll talk to VPs. From the 10 to 50, I'd rather talk to owners. So there could be 2 campaigns that could be done, but for the sake of this one here, I'm only going to put these people in there. We're still seeing 26,000 people in this, right? So it's getting better. Second degree United States, there we are. The next one, this is key, okay? And this is also only available inside LinkedIn Sales Navigator, is we're gonna change this spotlight search, okay, to post it on LinkedIn in the last 30 days. That's something that you can't find, even if you're paying big bucks to Zoom Info. You're paying big bucks to some of these other tools out there to find lead lists. Finding the 2 things here that you can do inside LinkedIn Navigator that you won't be able to do paying for lists anywhere else is I want a list of people that is already kind of somewhat connected to me. A third-party service can't do that, but LinkedIn can. Also, I want a list of people, since I'm reaching out to them on LinkedIn, people that are likely, have posted on LinkedIn, that are logging into LinkedIn. If people are posting content, I wish there was more options in here. Like, it'd be perfect to say, like, if they commented on something, or if they posted this type of content, or if they posted in the last week, or if they've been accepting connection requests in the last 3 days, yes, that would be wonderful. I don't have those. But what we do have is this one. And I found this one here to be one of the tricks that we do. This plus second degree is pretty amazing. Now, I'm a little forgetful. It's on the video. You guys can rewind. I'm just looking at this real time right now. I think it was 22,000. Now we're down to 9,000. So we're talking like roughly 40% of the people in this demographic posted. That's an interesting number to pay attention to. It kind of gives you an understanding of that industry, how active they are in general on LinkedIn. 30-40% is great. 25% is pretty good. If you're down to like 5%, 10%, like doctors, or I don't know, some high level engineers that are like, architectural engineers that aren't on LinkedIn that often, you might only see the active ones on LinkedIn. It's only 5%. That helps you know just kind of how successful your campaign might be in connecting to people in that space. But in any event, anytime I see anything over 30%, I go like, gosh, this is a good group. They're pretty active. We're still at 9,500, okay? Right now, that's enough for me, right? Of the main things in here to do, those are the ones I would do. Now, other things, I can filter it down by like how long you've been in that position, maybe the industries to leave out, maybe leave out nonprofit organizations. Honestly, those don't change too much. In my understanding, for myself, for my business, for you, they might. We can do those. But if you implement just what I taught you right here in this one here, your odds go up. Now, another thing I want to bring out to you guys' attention is that LinkedIn Sales Navigator only lets you pull 2,500 people at any time from a list. So here, I can go to page 100, okay? And it stops at 100. There's no page 101. It doesn't let you go past that. So page 100 is the end. And there's 25 on a page. Do the math, ends up to be 2,500. So even if it says 1 million people are in this demographic, you will pull the first 2,500 and it'll stop at that point. The way to get around this is to change by geography. That's what I usually would do. I put in California and change this. Instead of all United States, I put in just California. But there is a plus to how I'm doing this now. Because the number is 10,000 and they're only letting me pull 2,500, The 2,500 that they let you pull, the ones they put in the front of the list, it's a little bit like at a grocery store when they're putting some of their fruit in the front of the stand. The fruit they're going to put there, they're going to put their beautiful apples up front for you to want to buy their apples. And I think this is exactly what LinkedIn does. It front loads their lists with the people it thinks are more, based on their own algorithm, better for you to reach out to and connect with. So I don't mind having 10,000 and only pulling the front 2,500. I feel like that's more than enough. And next time I do this search, there might be different digital agencies that were around that weren't around before. My secondary connections are always going to change as I grow. So if I do this same thing 2 months from now, I'll get a different list of 2,500. And we're fine, okay? So this would be a search that I would grab. I'd grab this, I'd go back to the sales connector, and I'd put it in here. And then I would go ahead and give it a search name, and we'd be good to go. Now, one thing to remember is you're going to be doing the search on your own account. It's possible you're putting the search into somebody else's account. The thing that's going to change in there is, even though it's second degree to me, if I put this in here, this is not my account, the results would be slightly different because it'd be second degree based on the account that you're loading this into, which is fine and fair. Just understand that your second degree and their second degree might not be the same. If it is your own account, you're good to go. If it's someone else's account, it's going to pull that same search off of their account, and the results will be based on them, okay? So those are the tips and tricks. Hopefully this helps you understand LinkedIn Sales Navigator better. It's an incredibly powerful tool. It's part of the reason why LinkedIn has done as well as they have, is because they have an amazing LinkedIn Sales Navigator product. Now that we understand how to use it, let's take advantage of it. Let's build some awesome campaigns and grow our influence in sales. Thank you.